Hey Rahul,
Hey Martin, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Doing well, thanks.
Awesome. We're going to start in a few seconds. I'm just going to wait for a few more people here, trickling in slowly towards the end of the year, I guess. And all those things. Where are you located, Rahul?
I'm located in Cambridge, Massachusetts, so just outside Boston.
Got it. You have a lot of snow there?
We got a little bit over the weekend, but let's see. It's been a pretty mild winter so far.
Awesome. Hey Katrina, how are you?
Hello, doing well, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. All righty. So I'm going to kick it off in a few seconds, and Niels is there too. Fantastic. So I think we have good morning, Niels. And almost everyone. So let's give it another minute and another 20 seconds, and then we're going to kick it off. And I'm going to introduce you later, and you can stay on screen or off screen, turn camera on or off. For right now, I'll leave it up to you. So cool. Okay, let's give another 15 seconds, and then I kick it off.
Niels, are you also based out in Seattle?
No, I'm in Atlanta, the Atlanta suburbs.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Flyte Community Sync. It's December 13th, still 2022. My name is Martin Stein. I'm your host today, and we have a really interesting agenda. So let's take a quick look at the agenda slide. A couple of community updates today. We hear about a talk and a panel study that we had last week. I'm going to talk about this for a few minutes about the outcomes. It's a really, really interesting piece. We're going to go over the release of UnionML v2. We have Niels here, our chief ML engineer, who's going to talk about the Harmony release. And after the community updates, we're going to view two presentations, one by Katrina Palin from Stash and Rahul Mehta from TheoremLP. And both are talking about Flyte and how they use Flyte in their operations, daily operations. But before we move forward, a few housekeeping notes. Number one is this presentation and this talk is being recorded. You can look it up and find it on YouTube later. Also, if you want to join and talk and present about Flyte and join the community, go to flyte.org. There are enough community links to find, to look at. You can join the Slack channel. You can find the ad event to see future community things. So you're welcome to engage with the community. Now, let's take a step forward and look into the community updates today. Next slide, please. One of the first webinars that we have done so far was the webinar called Operationalization of Machine Learning, an interview study and panel discussion with Rolando Garcia. I thought this was a very interesting conversation. Also with the panel, we had people from Varsha and from Woven Planet, Ryan, DJ, and Michael. You can see that companies Stripe, Lyft, Striveworks, Toyota, Woven Planet, and Fabio, Recogni. So it was a really, a great panel there. And what we discussed at that panel was what are typical pitfalls when it comes to ML ops. One of the few, there were three statements in that study that Rolando Garcia put together, and I thought I want to pull them out and read them out because they struck me, and I felt like people who actually work in ML ops and do machine learning orchestration might feel the same way. Number one is, he wrote, people spend a significant amount of time on less glamorous aspects of ML, like maintaining and monitoring the data and ML pipelines. That's the daily life in ML engineering, one quote. The second part was, Rolando talked about the paranoia caused by machine learning debugging trauma. So that's, need to know what bugs to focus on and what comes with that. And that seems to be a really big topic. And last but not least, how to get to high velocity, which basically means potentially drowning in a sea of versions, of model versions, And so this was overall kind of like the fears that people deal with, but then there's also on the other side, kind of like, what are the strategies? What are the important things? And you can see all of that in the slides and the recordings, which will be posted on the URL here. So I thought it was very, very interesting. We'll have a follow-up conversation about this, and there will be more webinars. But thanks to Rolando Garcia and the co-authors for putting together the study, and thanks to the panel for speaking with me last week. Okay, next slide. Airflow versus Flyte Cheat Sheet. I just want to call out this wonderful cheat sheet. This is for people who come from Airflow and are used to working with Airflow and the command syntax and so on. And Samhita Alla, our developer advocate here at Union, put together this beautiful cheat sheet. I think it's fantastic. It really paves the way for people who are using both systems more than replacing a system. I feel like this is really when you go into, and you already have working knowledge of Airflow, but then you want to extend this into what does it mean for ML workflows, and you want to use both systems, and you want to build, use a provider between them. This cheat sheet will get you started real fast. Thanks, Samhita. Okay, cool. Real quick, links and resources. That should go very, very fast. Next slide, please. It's just a typical reminders. We have office hours. Office hours should be known to many of the regular attendees. The red eyes with Eduardo. That's the Eduardo Raul just mentioned. Katrina as well, and Samhita. So take advantage. You get actually really one-on-one time with the core developers here and the developer evangelists. So I would say it's one of the best, settings for actually getting knowledge transfer completed. And then that's the last slide is the upcoming thing. That was the last thing this year. So we, the Flyte engineering team, developer relations, we wish the community a happy new year and a very successful and good 2023. We'll see you on January 10th. We're all online on Slack, so please keep engaging with us. If you have any questions, reach out and we will be there whenever you need us. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the new year. Goodbye.